Young men around the world face enormous challenges. Gangs, addiction, crime, and mental health issues have put an entire generation at risk. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation is committed to working with a diverse group of people to identify solutions and achieve comprehensive, meaningful change. We have joined with Ashoka's Changemakers to host the Young Men at Risk, Transforming the Power of a Generation competition to help these young men reach a successful and healthy adulthood. The response to the competition was outstanding. More than 360 programs from 39 countries submitted entries. I congratulate each of them, with special acknowledgement to the 14 finalists. These are the innovators who are truly shaping a brighter future for young men.
Genesis Works changes the life trajectory of inner-city high school students by training them in technical and professional skills, then employing them to perform technical services for Fortune 500 corporations.
Genesis Works proves that when given the right knowledge and support, they break through barriers and engage on a path to a college education. We hope to change the educational system so that inner-city schools institute a culture in which the pursuit of a professional career is a given.
Omega Boys Club and Street Soldiers Alive and Free movement looks at violence as a virus, as a social disease with an explicit treatment process.
It looks at the thinking involved in violent behavior, the risk factors involved in violent behavior. It talks about dealing with the emotional residue as a result of getting in that lifestyle, and it gives rules for living to prevent the onset of the disease of violence.
The Male Advocates for Responsible Sexuality program, or MARS, uses positive and male peer role models to challenge stereotypical ideas of what it means to be a man by exposing the societal pressures that create them.
Overcoming generations of stigma around the topic of sexuality and socially ingrained gender norms, including preconceived expectations that sexual health is the woman's responsibility, is a major challenge that we face. First, we must confront these issues on a personal level in order to understand how messages and pressures around the concept of masculinity have shaped us. Then, leave behind our biases to focus on their specific needs.
Homeboy Industries is a gang rehab center where gang members, men and women, can redirect their lives and become productive members of society.
The biggest challenge in the work is to find employers willing to give a second chance to folks who have a past and who want to move beyond it. The biggest challenge for our clients is despair. They're unable to imagine a future for themselves, and this is a place that seeks to do exactly that for them. We hope to expand what we're doing and to get to a place where this can be duplicated and replicated in other cities across the country.
Roots of Empathy strives to break into generational cycles of violence and poor parenting by building a child's social and emotional understanding.
Our way of doing this is unique. We take a newborn infant and a mother into a classroom, and over the year, the children find the humanity in the baby, the humanity in themselves, and the humanity in the other. And through this, levels of empathy are rising and aggression falls. The long-term goal of Roots of Empathy is to build more responsive parents and more responsible citizens.
The key innovation of ROCA's programming is that they are relentlessly hopeful of young men to lead change in their lives.
We support young men in developing positive attitudes and behaviors and continually re-engage young men when they relapse or push away from change. Substance abuse, anger, incarceration are all great barriers that demand of our communities to try a radically more engaged approach, to believe that every young man can make it and that we are capable of inspiring that hope, possibility, and action in young people.
In a world where men get lots of messages about what they shouldn't do, the key innovation of Sankey Gender Justice has been to provide South African men with clear and positive messages about what men can do to prevent domestic and sexual violence.
The challenge for young men will be to figure out and to articulate clearly for themselves the ways to address gender-based violence and to respond to the HIV/AIDS epidemic. So we have advocacy work to do to call for a more just economic order, and to hold government to account to make sure that government delivers on its commitments to health and human rights.
Brotherhood Sister Soul provides comprehensive, holistic, long-term support to boys as they help guide them on the path toward being men and leaders in their community.
Even though we are able to provide comprehensive support to our young men, they still attend schools where over 60% of the students are at risk of failure. At the Brotherhood Sister Soul, when we focus on issues of education and youth development, we hope as a message spread into the field and people realize that the work is doable if we are ready to invest the time, the money, the resources, and the political energy.
The key innovation of Nuestras Raíces is working with the younger people of Puerto Rico to make better and beautiful farms, gardens, and businesses.
By focusing on farming, gardening, and the environment, Nuestras Raíces helps the community maintain a connection to their culture while putting down roots in our new home. The organization helps the community by taking the empty lots and turning these into garden, farm, or businesses. Family union is also promoted by having the elder generation teach and pass on the tradition of our home country to the youth.
One Vision, One Life consistently takes on the challenge of trying to help communities both understand and accept the X Factor concept.
I have ex-gang members, ex-offenders, and ex-drug dealers actually doing conflict resolution mediation in the streets. My hope for the future with our program is that we can do this nationally, that we can be a model for other parts of the country of how to do this. We can definitely be part of the solution.
Build turns youth from under-resourced communities onto college by providing real-world entrepreneurial experience and academic support.
Enabling students from underserved communities to access college and to bring strong entrepreneurial skills, innovation, creative thinking, financial management ensures that we can address critical issues in the future.
Alternative Reality strives to close the gap between homeless youth and the rest of society and to provide these youth with a space and opportunity to exercise their creativity.
The idea is to give space to homeless youth, which will help them realize how much they can help to build a nation. Our program has helped homeless youth realize they can really change their present situation and live a better life by believing in himself or herself.
Family Justice uses their Boys to Men program to tap into strengths of government, families, and communities to keep young men out of jail and prison and improve the health and well-being of their families and neighborhoods.
Too many young men, especially if they live in poverty, and especially if they are people of color, have internalized a sense of failure. The challenge is for all of us to shift our thinking, to focus on the strengths inherent in every young man, in every family, and in every neighborhood.
Tire San Jose uses highly focused paid workforce training as a vehicle to build marketable job skills, raise self-esteem, and provide stability to young men who are re-entering society from jail or prison.
Tire San Jose works with about 300 young people each year. After securing a steady job, only 8% reoffend. This is in sharp contrast to the state of California's 70% recidivism rate. We're proud of our program and its impact.
Thank you for your commitment to helping youth around the world. This competition began as a unique discussion amongst social innovators, investors, and business communities to find the most strategic, high-impact solutions to help youth realize their full potential.
And this is just the beginning, really, of a collaborative process that actually allows the innovators to come together to create something on a global scale that will transform the lives of a generation of young men across the world. Thank you so much.